good morning. We are here at the 61 edition of the Festival dei Popoli with Alina Gorlova. Hi, Alina. Thank you so much for this meeting and for your astonishing film. Congratulations for it. The film is This Rain Will Never Stop. It's in the official competition of the Festival dei Popoli. It's a film from Ukraine and then from other countries like Latvia, Germany, Qatar. It's a film who travels around many war zones from Syria to Ukraine and then other parts of the world. It's the story of a 20-year-old boy, Andriy Suleiman, who tries to secure a future for himself and for his family while navigating war zones like which are before Syria and Ukraine, and his life is framed in a many parts of the world. His family has been separated by the conflict, and the story is the story of a soul and of a family in a eternal cycle of life and death, of peace and war, and it's a film about a world stuck in a limbo, in a way, we said, and with an astonishing cinematography in black and white. We are here with Alina to speak about the film. There's a little introduction to it and a Q&A after the screening. Can we start from the beginning? So the protagonist of your story, Andriy, and then his family. How did you meet him and them, and when did you decide to follow their lives in these particular scenarios?
Okay, yeah, this film was started from Donbass, from this war zone in Ukraine, and there actually I saw these spaces, this place. It was actually very unique, of course, because of the nature. It's industrial zone where a lot of slag heaps, and also because right now it's war zone. And I was searching for protagonists actually for my next film, and my friend photographer, she advised me Andriy Suleiman because she knew a little bit about him and family. And I was thinking not so long, and I realized that it's a very unique opportunity to make film and to present Ukraine, Donbass, and Syria like one space, because when you see this region, Donbass, in black and white, and these slag heaps like mountains, you actually don't understand, is it Syria or is it Ukraine or some another place? And actually I was inspired by space. And after that we started to develop and explore the story of Andriy, and we realized that it's like perpetual war, and we want to follow his way. And he was our conductor in this film. We were filming everything around him, and we were filming everything around him while he was making to see Germany, where actually his relatives live now.
Okay, and how many weeks or months did you spend with him and to shoot the film all around this place from Syria, Donbass, and other parts of the world?
4 years.
Okay, no months, no weeks, years. Okay.
yeah. It's at the beginning it was short film, and we presented this project as a short film in 2017 at CPH Docs. There was like this small competition for short films, documentary short films. And actually, when we were coming back with my producer, we realized and actually should feature length with a journey to Syria.
And so I can imagine you had many hours of footage, of materials. And how did you manage with all these hours and how did you build the narrative of the film?
You know, yeah, like it was very hard to edit this film. Firstly, because we had too much nice shots, and of course, I wanted to use everything. And every time firstly, I was editing by myself, and some months later, we invited Olga Zhurba. She's also director. Documentary, and yeah, me and edited together around 2 years, and we were starting to edit while we were filming. So we were editing and we were filming together, and so it was important to build metaphors in our film and to connect Andrii's story to these metaphors. It was the main task in our movie. And every time we were losing this balance between background, metaphors, and personal stories. And we were finding this connection until the end of the editing. I hope I found out it at the end.
Okay, in this idea of the metaphor, especially the landscape is a metaphor of this world. When I was watching the film for the first time, I was thinking about maybe the cinema of Theo Angelopoulos, because in this idea of that was author cinema, that was fiction cinema, but was 40, 30 years ago. Now there is a different relation with images and documentaries, but there is a sort of influence, not of course, or Angelopoulos or maybe another director, but this idea to use documentary in a sort of experimental way, in a way finding fiction in reality.
Yeah, absolutely, you're right, because so like I'm to of course I don't want, I didn't lie in any like scene, but you could use these shots in these shots. You could use some a lot of things to create symbols, to create metaphors, and so on. And from this, you are building your film. So yes, it's like it's a fiction a little bit, probably. Yeah, but I think that it's creative documentary. It's a little bit fiction all the time, you know.
Of course. And at the same time, the idea of black and white, you told that Donbass and Syria can be very similar, but did you think about black and white since the beginning of the shooting, or did you decide in a second moment? Yeah,
from the very beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, from the very beginning, because yeah, as I said before, I wanted to create this like one space. Of course, we have Donbass, we have Ukraine, Germany, Syria, but we want to embrace everything. And if you are using black and white, it's easier for you to create rhymes, visual rhymes. And these visual rhymes, of course, work for your idea to create this one world where our protagonist exists.
Okay, and this idea of a limbo, just like we said before, this idea of black and white, the idea of the suspended world, I think that the force of your cinema, and I ask if you agree with me with that, is that only people maybe and loved ones can somehow redeem these war zones everywhere in the world. It's a film about war and landscapes and fog and desperation, but at the same time about people and affection who connect people all around the world. Do you agree? Is this the idea of the flowing, not only of love and death, or not only of war and peace, but also life and death?
Yeah, of course, I agree. Sorry, I like the connection is not very good. I skipped some parts, but
Okay.
yeah, you said about limbo and about folk. Absolutely right, because our previous variant for the title was Araraf, which it's Muslim, in Muslim culture, it's like a limbo.
Okay.
But Al-Araf, it's not space, it's like wall. And on this wall, there are people who are staying in between hell and paradise. Limbo, it's an important thing because important locations was this Stanitsa Luganska in Donbass. It's checkpoints between two military forces. And a lot of people are going there. Probably you, of course, saw at the beginning of the film. And it's also about like connections. People are trying to do something and they're going there, they're there. And also we have this place in Syria. There's some place like also checkpoint in Syria and Iraq. And in Stanitsa Luganska and in Peshawar, in Ukraine and Syria, these checkpoints are situated on the rivers, and river is also some symbol in some way, something between two worlds. And of course we could see in this film that this Suleiman family, they were spread around the world, and their connection actually were broken, and we are using this sound of these connections, of these phone calls, like weak internet connection actually, which I have right now. And this it's of course also about people. And our building my film, that at the beginning we are like some aliens which are landing on some Earth, and we don't understand what this actually. And step by step we understand that actually it's our planet, and we are starting our traveling through this world.
Okay, and that's why the title is this, about this raid, which will never stop. In a way, sort of dystopian world. It's like Blade Runner. This rain will never stop, but at the same time is a sort of a living element. No, this rain is never. Okay, that's why.
Yeah, it's absolutely true, because at the beginning you see this war machine, like war, peace, like a factory with tanks and Red Cross humanitarian missions. And all of this, it's like a flow, and the people with the parades, like war parade, military parade, and pride parade for love, it's like it's a one flow.
Last question: are you still in touch with Andrew and his family, or are you okay? Did you plan to shoot again with them? This the idea of the flowing. This rain will never stop. Maybe also the film too.
No. I hope no. No. It was, it was hard, very nervous, very dangerous, very exhausted. So I'm so happy that I finally finished it. It's like I think everybody tired a lot, in our crew and family also. And we had this, I don't want to make a spoiler, but we had this very emotional scene at the end of the film with Andrei and his father. And at that time I understood actually that we have to finish. So it's finished, this film.
Okay, so the idea of recalling a narrative fiction, and there's a sort of a cycle also in the narrative. So there's not only a film about shooting, about editing, but also about writing the story while the story develops. So it's it's a great construction, a great filming construction. So thank you very much, Alina.
Thank you, Roberto.
Okay, thank you for the film, and congrats again. So we have also finished the timeline at this position, and so thank you again.
Thank you, Roberto, for this great conversation. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye. Congratulations.